Brooks Congress, I think, has really supercharged the animal welfare movement in so many ways, and that it's hard to put, you can identify certainly all sorts of connections and collaborations that have come out of the friendships and the camaraderie and the opportunities for interaction that the Brooks team has created. But I think that those things can easily be overlooked, but I think that they're really critical to all sorts of emerging progress. And I think that it also creates a sense of, even though people come and they have very different views often on how to create progress and where resources should be invested and who should pursue these routes and so forth, that it creates an atmosphere where those folks can collaborate in a really positive, important way that I think probably few social justice movements have like this.
And so what we have is not a presentation, but a dialogue that's going to start here about the year in review and a preview of what may be coming. And we have Kristen Stilt from Harvard, and we have Angela Fernandez from Toronto. And take it away.
We're going to talk about some of the trends we see in our own jurisdictions, as well as some interesting comparisons we found between the U.S. and Canada. So let's turn to you. All right, now it's our turn to listen. What's on your mind to watch for 2024?
Lenore is going to give us a very brief summary of the Civil Work Group's work since the last Congress and about the report that she wonderfully drafted for the Civil Work Group.
I really appreciate all the work that went into this report. It is a very complicated topic. It brings in a lot of things.
We've got to keep doing it, and we should keep doing it. We shouldn't be deterred. And every time you can get in front of a judge and put that evidence out there, I think it's a great thing for animals.
This is my first time attending the Brooks Congress, and it is the first time since I've joined this field many years ago that I've been around such exceptional leaders in the field all in one place. I've never felt so inadequate in my career, but also so inspired. And there's so much that we miss. This is a largely remote movement. There's not always a lot of chances to get together in person because we're different organizations or different fields. But the conversations that just happen organically here, they don't happen anywhere else.
What is the overall goal? The overall goal is to improve outcomes for animal victims. That, I think no one here would disagree with that. But let's talk about what that means. That's one of the things I'd like us to discuss. What would it mean to improve outcomes for animal victims in criminal cases?
As you're brainstorming generally about CAPS, bring in experiences that you have had or that you have thought about in the use of the criminal system. What is your sort of ideal vision of how the criminal system would work?
There is nothing like it. I mean, this is the only institute that is pulling off a conference once a year for advocates in animal protection.
I've met a number of people who I've never met in person before, which has been a joy. We have this year with us one of our students from Yale Law School, and so that's also been a joy to get to see of how meaningful it is for the Brooks Emerging Scholar Fellows to get to come to these events and interact with the top leaders in their field. So I think that that's one of my favorite parts, is I think that Brooks has done an extraordinary job of trying to both empower and support and heighten the scholarship and research being done by people who are at the top of this field and have achieved the sort of pinnacle of success in law school careers already, while simultaneously investing substantially in emerging scholars with ideas and projects sort of ranging the gamut of animal issues.
I mean, it brings everybody together to talk, face to face. And I've been lobbying for a lot of years, and you can't do it over Zoom. You know, I mean, you can do a little, but it's the interactions at the bar, it's the interactions sitting down with someone, you know, who might have a different perspective and just, you know, bouncing ideas off one another. It's so crucial.
I think Brooks is pretty fantastic because they're institutionalizing a lot of what we're doing. They're doing what I'm talking about, what we need to be doing. They're bringing us all together. How often can you be in the room with, you know, academic scholars, young lawyers? And so what this Congress really means for me is that I can come to a beautiful place. I can be with people that I respect, I admire, that I have read about, that I would love to meet in a very relaxed setting, and just be together, because it can be kind of a lonely space to be in animal law.
I'm seeing new ideas being sparked, information being shared in ways that just would not be happening if we didn't have this dedicated time together over these couple of days. So this is my first Brooks Congress. I certainly hope to be coming back again because it's a unique opportunity to learn from and connect with some of the top minds in all of these fields.
Just as an emotional, kind of spiritual aspect of the Congress. And then, of course, there's all the educational components to it, and the fact that we have the smartest and, you know, the leaders, the patriarchs and the matriarchs of our movement that are here, and the people now doing amazing work. All of that is informative, inspiring, and coalition building.
It really puts into perspective this work and why we're doing it, and that we have power together.
I can't tell you how many folks who I knew from afar, and I have never even met them, but then I meet them here and we become friends for life. And it's not just personal as in it's nice to have a new friend, and it is. It also matters because we can then work together. We can then start, conspiring for good. We can come up with strategies. We can come up with, coalitions to take on big opponents.
There is a magic to the synergy, and it's why events like the Brooks Congress are so important to this legal community.
For just 1 minute, imagine that world of animal justice that you began the session talking about. Just visualize it. But most important, when you do so, be aware that at the same moment, you're surrounded by dozens of advocates who you admire, friends you cherish, who are going to be having the same thought, okay? I hope you feel a little bit inspired. I hope you feel a little bit motivated, but most of all, I hope you do not feel alone in this work.